Hello everyone, responding to a request from one of followers on the channel. In this video I'm bringing an example how to deploy your Django application in the Azure App Service. And to add more value to this content, we are using Terraform to provision the resources and the Azure DevOps to deploy the app. So it is important to highlight that this video doesn't teach you how to use the Django, but it will help you configure your application to run on the Azure cloud. Let's get started. This is the Django official website. I will leave the Django official documentation in this video description. Here you can see how to configure the Django in your local machine and how to create your first app. Here you can see my Django app created, and this is our expected result when we will be deployed to Azure App Service. Given that we already have our Django application created, let's create the Azure App Service. If you don't know Terraform, this is a great opportunity to improve your knowledge. I will leave a card where I explain how to configure Terraform on your computer to provision resources in the Azure cloud. But don't worry, I will also show you how to create all the resources manually. I will leave this URL in this video description. So click in the Use Provider button and copy this content. I have the Visual Studio Code open with a TF file to provision the resource. Copy the content here and go back to Terraform web page. Copy this content here. Go back to Visual Studio Code and copy the content here. Let me explain what we have here. Here we are providing the Azure Resource Group, and next we are providing the Azure App Service. And to finish, we are providing app service for Linux. So change here to ROG underscore Django. Here to ROG Django. Let's change the reference of resource group. Now let's change here to Django App Service, and here too Django App Service, and let's replace the reference to App Service plane. And to finish, put a unique name for your Azure App Service. For example, my Django Web App. Change here too. And now let's execute the Terraform init command. Okay, now let's execute the Terraform plane command. Okay, as we are working with a Django application, we will inform the version of Python that we will use. Here in site config, add the application stack Python underscore version. In my case, I'm using the version 3.10. Okay, let's execute the Terraform apply command. Okay, Terraform apply command executed successfully. We're going to access the Azure portal to check the created resource, and I will take the opportunity to show you how to create the resource manually. Okay, let's check the created resource group, and here it is. Here you can see our app service. Click in it, and click in the default domain URL. And we can see that our Linux app service was created successfully. To check the Python version, search for configuration. Click in it. Okay, we are using the Python 3.10 version. And to create a Linux app service manual is very simple. Click in the Microsoft Azure, then click in the Create a Resource button. Search for Web App or click in this option. In the resource group option, create a new resource group or select a resource group in the list. Put a name for your app service, my Django App Service. In the runtime stack option, select Python 3.10, and to finish, click in the Review plus Create. Now go to Azure DevOps, and to save time, I already sent my Django source code to a repository. And now let's create the pipeline to deploy. In the left menu, click in the pipelines. Click in the New Pipeline button, then click in the Azure repository, select your repository, and choose the Start Pipeline option. Okay, I will delete this content. In Trigger, I will change it to None. I will delete this content as well. And for this example, will be necessary only one task. Search for web app and choose the Azure Web App option. Select your Azure subscription. Then select the app type. And to finish, select the app name. Click in the Add button. And here we delete this content. And leave only system.default working directory. Now click in the Save and Run button. Click in it. And we're gonna waiting for job execution. Okay, let's access the Azure Web App. Refresh this page. In the first moment, we can see this error. And to fix this error, it's necessary to add an environment variable to Azure App Service. So go back to Visual Studio Code. And here let's add a new code block. App underscore settings scm do build during deployment equals true. Save the file and let's execute the Terraform apply command again. Okay, now let me show you this change in the Azure Portal so you can manually insert if you prefer. In your app service, search for environment, click in it, and here we can see our environment variable. And to add manually, click in the Add button, put a name for your environment variable and a value, and click in the Apply button. Okay, now go back to Azure DevOps, and we will need to create a new file with our project dependencies. For that, at the root of project, create a new file with name requirement.txt. And add the Django library reference. Commit to save. And let's run the pipeline again. Now go back to Azure App Service, refresh this page. Okay, the Django application is working, but it will be necessary to add the URL in the allowed hosts variable. Copy it, go back to Azure DevOps, and under the folder that you configured for your application, you can see this file settings.py. Click in it. And in the allowed hosts variable, add the URL. Click in the edit button, and in the allowed hosts, add the URL. Commit to save, and let's execute the pipeline again. Go back to Django App Service and refresh the page. Okay, the Django executed successfully, but if we try to access the admin URL, we can see that there is a problem with the front end, and to solve this one, it's necessary to apply some change in the source code. So go back to Azure DevOps, click in the requirement.txt file, click in the edit button, add a new dependence, white noise, commit to save. Now go to the settings.py file, click in the edit button, add the OS import OS, and in the stored underscore apps variable, add the white noise .run server underscore static. And in the middleware variable below the security middleware, add the white noise dot middleware dot white noise middleware. Now go to end the file, and above the static URL variable, add the static files underscore this s0 base underscore d dot join path static. Below the static URL variable, add the static files underscore storage white noise dot storage dot compressed manifest static files storage and the static underscore root os dot path dot join daisy underscore d static files. Okay, commit to save. Now execute the pipeline again. Okay, let's go back to the Django web app. Refresh this page. Okay, I must have done something wrong. Let's check the code. I forgot to put a comma here. Here it's necessary to add a comma too. Commit to save. And then let's execute the pipeline again. Okay, go back to the Django application. Refresh this page, and the Django application is executed successfully. And that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, please give this video a like to help others with similar interest find it. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, I encourage you to do so, because I will be posting more interesting content on various technologies. Thank you, see you in the next video.